Hey guys, this is, as you know, it's Queen B. As you can hear in my voice, tonight is not really one of those type of nights for me. And this is not anything about no mix-up or nothing. Tonight is really going to be about just, let's just reason, just reasoning with Queen B. Let's call this one Reasoning with Queen B. Yeah, let's reason. Sometimes we can't just reason, And every time we have to come out with a little passa and drama and, them kind of things. Sometimes you just need to take a little break from those things. You understand? And sometimes you can't just vibe and just reason with your, with your peoples, So anyway, say I'm here and I'm thinking about, everything. I mean, it still has to do with social media, but, I'm thinking about everything that's going on social media. And I'm thinking to myself, like, Queen B, everything that you see on social media, it may look new to some of us because, back in the days or whatever, you didn't have social media, you didn't have Facebook, you didn't have, Instagram and all these other places where you could actually see everybody life and see how them live and see the way them bad mind and jealousy and whatever of each other and fighting and ray. You understand? But it's nothing new. I mean, the way you've seen it portrayed on social media today is how a lot of people are in real life. And in real life, them just as bad mind, them just as jealous, them just as hateful and bitter. It just as social media give you a venue or a way of exposing them for who they are, right? Yes. And I understand that it's not everything you see on social media you can actually believe, because people do perpetrate a lie, and behind the camera or behind the screen, they're something totally different. But I think those ones we can actually, anyone that's really smart and intelligent and observant can tell the difference. You can tell the difference between the one who just perpetrating a pure lies and the one who genuinely just the way they portraying themselves to be, right? And when you pick sense out of nonsense of the things that they say and do and the way they operate and behave, you can just kind of know who they are and just take them for what it is, right? Some people are entertainers, some people are comedians, some people are cooks, some people are chefs, some people are bakers, some people are home builders. So, what I'm saying? Whatever they want to portray themselves to be on social media, that is how we're going to take them, right? So we move on from that. And another thing that social media also is portraying and exposing is all the fake Christians, right? The ones who call themselves, a child of God, the one who's saying, preaching the gospel, the one that come out with the Bible in their hand and they condemn the world, but yet they're so perfect, and, it seems like they're the only one that love God, and they're the only one that trying to keep it real with people, and they're the only one that's so highly spiritual, and them go on with themselves and ray and whatever and go fat. And then, of course, behind the camera, they're a total different person. Those type of people you can also know, because you will know by the fruits, right? Anybody that call themselves a Christian or a child of God or serving God, you're going to know them by their fruits. And the fruits is going to be winning up, the souls. It's going to be how many lives have you touched in a spiritual way? How many people have you brought to Christ? How many people have you led to Christ? How many people you have, helped spiritually, and helped to guide them into, the next step or the next level in their walk with God? Like, how many people have you done that to? How many people can truly say, boy, for the past year and it's about 12 souls me bring to God, and or 12 souls I brought into the church, or it was 12 souls that I led to, say the sinner's prayer, and I'm saying, like, how many Christians that's on social media can really say that? Or maybe they're just on social media for the hype, the money, the subscribers, just like the regular layman does, the regular quote-unquote sinners, There's no difference between the two platforms. They all look the same, they sound the same, and, so people your walk with God has to be a personal thing between you and God. And that's the reason why they always tell us, do not judge. Don't look at me and tell me I'm not a Christian, or don't look at me and tell me I'm not of God. Don't look at me and say I am sinning any more than what you're singing. Let's not judge. God is the only judge when it comes to that, because everyone has their own personal relationship with God. And the way that God may deal with you, he may not deal with the next person like that. Even if it's the same situation, you will find yourself, he may give you two different answers. What for you is for you, and what is for him is for him, and what is for her is for her, and so forth. That's why you cannot sit back and say, but look how me I serve God with all of my life. Look how me I serve God with my mind and heart and soul. And look how every day I'm dedicated to God, and I this and I that, and I sacrifice for my God and this and that. And every time I turn around, they come like say that they want they get the blessing, and me now I get the blessing. Now what so? It's not for you to question God. You don't know the reason why God is blessing that person and not you. Maybe God sees deep down in your heart that you have a lot more work to be done in you before you reach the level of that type, getting that type of blessing. Maybe God see where he needs to test you. That if he don't bless you, you have to struggle for certain things. He giving you limited amount. He wants to see where your heart is. If you're gonna bad mind somebody else that have more than you, if you're gonna bad mind and hateful and gravelicious on someone else's property, someone else's possession, someone else's wealth, he want to see where your heart is at. And if your heart is bitter towards someone else that is flourishing and doing better than you, then yes, it's gonna take that much longer for God to bless you. I want me to say, it's going to take that much more for God to bless you, because your heart is in the wrong place. You have to learn to be humble. You have to be able to be gracious and thankful even for the small things that he gives you, and then he will give you the big things. But if you cannot be grateful, and if you cannot be thankful and gracious and give him all the praise and thanks for the small things in your life, because you're busy watching someone else's wealth before you take the time to thank him for the small thing that he has blessed you with, it will take you that much longer to get to where that person is. Now you may say to yourself, oh, wait a minute, but that person not serve God the way me they serve God. Them not dedicate them life the way me dedicate. Them not sacrifice the way me they sacrifice. Oh, you know. Oh, you know. Oh, you know. If the relationship is an individual relationship between them and God, they may have a different requirement from God than you. They may have a different requirement than you. And it's not for us to judge. It's not for us to ask God questions. It's for us just to listen to his word and obey and walk in the path that he chooses for you. Everybody else have a different path to follow. My path is not your path. How I get to heaven, how I get to my riches, how I get to my fame, how I get to that next level is going to be totally a different path that you have to take to get there. So the time you're keeping your eyes on my path and what I'm doing and not doing, you need to be focusing on what you need to be doing by listening to the word of God. Listen to your spirit. Listen to what God is trying to show you, how to get to that next level, instead of watching where someone else is going or where they have gone or where they're at. You're wasting time when you do that. So, you know, it's so many different aspects of what I could say and show you that kind of ties to social media. Because like I said, a little bit of all of what I just said and saying, it has played out on social media. People have watched other people grow and wonder how they get to that level. Me serve God more than them. Me worship God more than them. I don't do those evil things. I don't do those wicked things. I don't do those conniving and bad mind things that someone else is doing. I'm sorry. How are they so blessed? But that is not for you to know. God don't owe any of us an explanation. The only thing that God owes us is His love and His forgiveness, and the fact that He have died and sacrificed His life for us. That's what He felt He owed us. And He granted us that. Ask yourself, what do I owe God? For all what He have done for me and where He have brought me from, and the fact that I could live to see another day, or live to see another night, live to see another evening, what do I owe God? And I hope each one of you tonight, or today, or this evening, or wherever you are, can ask yourself, what do I owe God? And whatever you feel you owe God, that is what you should be working towards to give Him. But I know He doesn't require much. I already know what He requires, and I'm sure you know what He requires. So the time we take in to be, going against each other and bashing each other and wondering why this and why that, and why this evil person get away with this for so long, and why that person get away with this so long, and and just back and forth and trying to bring down each other and destroying each other and cursing each other out. I mean, all that energy that we're putting in doing all of that, we could be using it to look into ourselves to say, what do I owe God, and what can I give back to Him? And what can I do with my life to make it better for myself, my family, my kids, my friends around me, my surroundings? What can I do that's different, that to better my life, to make money, to be progressive? What can I be doing? You could be using a lot of that energy trying to figure all of that out. Right? And then once you figure all that out, and you bring that forth on social media, then at that point, we as bloggers have the opportunity to blog about more positive things. Because bloggers are like news reporters. We bring the news to you. We bring the latest to you. And if it's baga baga out there, it's baga baga is all we have to bring to you. If there's good and positive things out there that we want to bring to you, we can bring that to you also. But if the bloggers are going to look at what sells the most. They're not going to look at, oh, me no want to bring drama, or, oh, me no want to bring baga baga, or, oh, me no want to do this, oh, me no want to do that. No, they're going to look at what sells the most, unfortunately. So if it's baga baga running the media, if it's baga baga, selling the most, that is what they're going to bring. So you out there has to give us more positive materials where we have no choice but to bring those positivity, because that is all that's out there. Will that ever happen? Maybe never. So, before I go, I just want to say this last thing, like sometimes, God is knocking at our doors, and He's knocking at the windows, knocking at the front door, back door, side door. He just keep knocking, and we hear Him knocking. If we are in tune with ourselves and in tune with our spirit, we hear Him knocking, and we continue to ignore that knock. And then it gets to a point where God just say, you know what, I have given him or her free will, and if they chooses not to open up the door for me, the only thing that I can do is to lift my hands, back off, and allow them. So if you find yourself going through terrible turmoil, you can't seem to make ends meet, no matter what you try, what you do, you just can't get ahead in life. You just can't get that demon off your back. You just can't. It's like you have no strength left. It's like every breath in your body is leaving you, and you're just so tired, and you're so exhausted, and you're tired of defending, and you're tired of arguing, and you're just tired, and you're just tired. And no matter what you do, you just continue to be just so tired, and you're sick and tired, and you just keep going through these emotional things. It's because God has finally backed off, lift his hands, and at this moment, you're on your own. And your only solution is to get down on your knees and say, God, I surrender. God, I surrender, and I surrender all. And then you will see a difference. All right? All right. Anyway, that's all Queen Bee have to say. Just wanted to give you my thoughts. Like I said, this is going to be called Reasoning with Queen Bee. You know, every now and again, I do come out and I change up the format. Look a bit of this, look a bit of that. And today, I just wanted to reason with my peoples. All right? All right. Love you guys, as usual. Queen Bee is here to stay. I'm not going nowhere. In the meantime and between time, you guys be good out there. All right? All right. Talk to you later. Bye.